It is said that we are what we eat, and we need to be very mindful of the food choices we make, because the kind of food we eat directly impacts our physical, mental and emotional well-being. And what's equally important is how we eat our food. So let's look at simple eating practices that we can adopt in order to improve our metabolism, better our digestion, help us manage our stress and anxiety, and also help us manage our weight. Now, though these practices might sound very simple, but if done regularly, these practices can have a very profound impact on our well-being. So let's have a look at these practices. Plan your meals ahead of time. Now, this one habit is extremely important and at the same time very liberating. It's a boon for us when it comes to managing the stress around our meal times. The moment we are hungry is not exactly the moment we should be relying on a sense of judgment when it comes to our food choices. Now, there are two ways of eating. We either eat intuitively or we eat at fixed times. Now, intuitive eating is a little tricky because that requires us to tune in to a physiological signs of hunger and eat the moments we are actually hungry. But sometimes the psychological effect of stress can make us feel hungry when we are not actually hungry, and that can lead to overeating. So in case we are experiencing a very hectic and a stressful situation, it's important that we eat at fixed intervals of time. What's equally important is us having our heaviest meal between 12 and 2, because that's the time when our digestive fire is at peak. So in case you're planning your cheat meal, please ensure that you're having it around your lunchtime and do not overindulge in food around dinner time. Make sure your last meal is at least 2 or 3 hours before your bedtime. Sleeping immediately after a heavy meal can lead to a lot of digestive issues, impair our blood sugar levels, and also lead to weight gain. So it's best to have your last meal at least 2 or 3 hours before your bedtime. In case you feel like having something right before your bedtime, here are a few things that you can try out. A cup of hot chocolate milk made from almond milk and cocoa powder, a cup of turmeric milk with a dash of honey, or a cup of chamomile tea. The kind of ambience that we create when we sit down to eat is a major signal for our mind and body to know whether we are in a stressful situation or not. And it's best to create an ambience which lets our body know that it's time to relax and really focus on our digestion. And to do that is really simple. We have to make sure that we sit down to eat our food and not eat food in a hurry, standing or walking around. We have to make sure that we stay away from any kind of distractions. We can either eat together in a group surrounded by people we love, or we can eat alone. And in case we are eating alone, it's a good practice to play some light soothing music to really calm our senses down. Now, speaking of calming ourselves down, it's very important that we pay attention to our breathing pattern. The way we breathe can directly activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is also our rest and digest system. Number 1, practice anulom-viloma pranayam or nadi shodhan pranayam. For that, you need to block one nostril, inhale from one, exhale from the other, and then inhale from the same nostril that you exhaled as you exhale from the other nostril. Try making your exhalations longer than your inhalations. So if you're inhaling for a count of 5, try exhaling for a count of 8. Try performing around 10 to 15 rounds of anulom-viloma pranayam. Indulge all your senses when you're eating your food. Try eating with your hands, smell the food and chew your food properly. Avoid talking or looking at your phone or watching something when you're eating your food. The process of digestion begins in our mouth. The saliva mixes up with our food and helps us to break down the carbs, which improves the assimilation of the nutrients. So So it's very important that we focus on chewing our food properly and not gulping it down. It takes around 15 to 20 minutes for the brain to register that you're full. So ideally, take your time and eat your food at leisure. Avoid eating till you're overstuffed. Try eating till you're about 80% full. This is the size of our stomach. So Ayurveda states that at any given time, half of it should be filled with food, 1/4 of it would be the fluid, and we should leave 1/4 of the space for the food to churn, and that helps in the digestive process. Avoid having anything cold with your food. And it is also better not to gulp down large amounts of water when you're eating your food. Have a warm cup of CCF tea 15 to 20 minutes after your main meals to improve your digestion. I have already made a post about the CCF tea, so please do have a look at it. And if required, you can add a dash of ginger or a dash of cinnamon to it to balance out your sugar levels. After eating your meals, it's best to sit in the vajrasana position. Now, vajrasana position is a simple position where you bend your legs and you sit like this. And in case you find sitting in this position to be a little tough, just take a pillow and place it between your thighs and your hips, and you can sit on it comfortably. Try sitting in this position for around 15-20 minutes to improve your digestion. It's a good practice to walk for 10-15 minutes after you've had your meals. So you have your meals, sit in vajrasana for 10-15 minutes, sip on some CCF tea, and then go for a 10 to 15 minute walk. This improves your digestion, increases your metabolism, and also helps you manage your sugar levels well. So the practices that we should follow in a nutshell is to plan our meals ahead, eat at fixed intervals of time, manage the ambience and the environment in which we are eating, eat in a calm and relaxed manner, make sure we perform the breath work before eating our food, indulge all our senses and really relish our food, chew our food properly and make sure we do not mix anything cold with our food. Sit in vajrasana immediately after having our meals. Try having CCF tea 15 minutes after our meals and then having a walk of 10-15 minutes after our meals. Now, though these 10 steps are very simple, it might be a little difficult to follow them through. Try adopting one step at a time and slowly stack on to this habit. Gradually with time, you would find that these practices would have become second nature to you. And it's very important that we give our well-being the priority it deserves. Please do let me know your inputs in the comment section below. Do not forget to save this post and please do share this post with your loved ones. Take care and keep thriving.